Hey everyone, this is Jewelyn. Welcome back to the channel, and yes, welcome to the end of the year Planting with Jewelyn 2021 plant tour for the front of the home. By the time this video goes live, we will be into the new year. Over the course of the next upcoming weeks, I'm going to be dedicating a certain day depending on my crazy schedule, and we're going to go one by one throughout the Santa Monica studio, do a clean with me, because the collection does get trashed outside with the tree. It's very hard for me to always have the collection filmed ready. So in the next upcoming videos, you'll eventually see the rest of the collection section by section. If you've watched my plant tours in the past, I usually do a 4 or 5 part tour for Santa Monica, and I also have a collection in Las Vegas, and I'll do a whole separate tour later. But first I want to focus on getting the Santa Monica collection basically plant ready for the new year. So I haven't been really home this year, between traveling for the vlog channel, traveling with the shop, doing 91 pop-ups in 3 different states, and living and working in 2 states. I haven't been with the collection as much as previous years, but I'm very thankful for the plants that did survive my crazy schedule. And before it rains the next 3 days, I wanted to come out here before going to Las Vegas, giving this whole front of the house a basically facelift makeover, and film this tour for you guys. So give this video a big thumbs up. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Okay, so here is a quick overview of the Santa Monica collection in front of the house. So we've extended it on both sides to have the plants off of the ground, which is basically the best thing I can do with the circumstances of the tree. I first did the whole makeover in the front of the home over a year ago. I basically had 1 set of shelves. I decided to double it with the shelving that I had in the patio, and then I extended it out to the door, and as you can see, it looks pretty organized, and I'll be able to get the rake and blower underneath the shelving and be able to clean up after the tree weekly. And I think the plants will be a lot happier too. Working from one end to the other, we're gonna go through the plants, and if you know the specific IDs of any of the plants, please sound off in the comments down below. So right here on the right hand side, you see my Opuntia. It's been with the collection for a while now, several years. I've gifted so many of my subscribers who did big purchases from me, cuttings, and all of my plant friends. I'm really scared to repot this plant because it has little pricks on it, so it's still living in the nursery planter. But I wouldn't mind getting rid of it, maybe trading it off for another plant. Until then, it'll just stay here and I'll admire it from far. Down on the bottom here, you see what's left of my sad looking epiphyllum. It's a very, probably out of all of the plants that we're going to go through today, my favorite plant, even though if it doesn't look it, because it gives me beautiful blooms. I shared many times on the channel, and now I create art with the blooms, but hopefully it'll be able to survive the upcoming winter and bloom for me in May around Mother's Day when it comes. I also have a large Opuntia here. As you can see, there's 3 babies now, and this was gifted to me from my plant friend Tanya, and originally it was just this 1 pad here, and since then it grew 2 over the last couple of years. I have my Kalanchoe. I believe this is the silver spoon. As you see, it's in bloom. I need to cut this, but other than that, lots of blooms here. And this was a gift from my plant friend subscriber Patreon, Sonia. And then next to it here, you see my Kalanchoe, my succulent here, my big mother plant. I really like this succulent. It's very gorgeous. It's one of those plants that gives you tons of babies. I'll pull it back so you can see. I believe this is the flapjack is what they call it. So tons of babies. The top part of it, I maybe just want to trim it off here. Let me know what do you guys think I should do, but there's tons of babies down there. Right here is a kiwi aeonium, if I'm not mistaken. Some kind of euphorbia here. I have some jade cuttings, probably from my mother plant. If I walk past the big tree, and I'll share that at the end of the video, if there's any fallouts, I like to save them. I have an agave here, which I probably got from the Rose Bowl many years ago. And then I have these beautiful aeoniums, which were once actually in like plastic white planter hanging in my patio, but I did move it probably in Planting with Jewelyn over the past 2 years. But this was gifted to me from my host in the Bay Area when I went down there 2 years ago or so for dance school, and that came from her yard. So that's everything in this section. Okay. So moving along here, I have my panda plant. I believe this is what it's called, and I had this for a while now, or I think it's like the kangaroo paw or panda plant. Another kalanchoe, and then I have my cuttings from the night blooming cactus from Tanya's big mother plant. I got this big euphorbia from my subscriber. If you haven't watched the recent rescue plant haul, it's from the same subscriber, but I had this several years now. And then this was one of my purchases, I believe, from Las Vegas several years ago, and I have it in an owl planter. And then I have these succulents here from my plant friend, subscriber, Patreon Sonia. It's growing crazy. It's one of those succulents where you don't want to touch it because it's going to fall out all apart. And there we go, we have trash from a tree. And then I have here my Eve's needle, and I got this Eve's needle from the Rose Bowl several years ago. It has grown a baby here over the years. I try not to touch this guy. It does collect a lot of trash from the tree, unfortunately. And then back here, I'll bring it out so you can see, I have another epiphytic cactus, and there's some babies here, and I got this from Santa Barbara maybe 2-3 years ago. And then back there I have a crocodile aloe, I want to say, back there. And then I have my big, I can't believe it, I carried this. If you've seen my planting with Jewelyn, I think last year when the lockdown first started, my somebody in the neighborhood had cut back all of their aloe, and I felt really bad, so I carried a few, and I saved one for me, and the rest I gave away to my plant friends. And so far it's living life in this big white planter. But the upkeep is, you know, I do have to always cut back like the bottom parts of it, so that's just one thing I have to do. But other than that, it's very low maintenance, and I'm glad I was able to save it. And then tucked behind it here, you see some aeonium. It is aeonium season, and I'm trying to think who gifted me these aeoniums. I have 2 of them here and here in 2 separate planters. I love aeoniums, especially the crested ones are the ones that bloom for me. But I love the contrast of the dark chocolate with the neon green center. It's very gorgeous. This is my beautiful coral aloe that I had for many years. I got this in Las Vegas, and it was actually shaped like a crescent and then eventually opened up, and this is what it's been looking like. And then I also have another euphorbia. This is from the same subscriber, so I just have them in 2 separate planters. I may take one, I don't know where, maybe, I'm not too sure, because I think I do have one also in the Las Vegas collective, but for now they're separate and it's fine. Down here in this low bowl, I just have another type of euphorbia. If you guys know the correct ID of this one, it's crested. Comment down below. And then I have the Ripsalis here. It's giving me some cute berries. And then here we have more aeoniums. I like to have aeoniums throughout the collection. I think it gives a lot of interest. And then I believe here we have some kind of Haworthia. It's a small cluster type. I don't know the ID. I probably had this for several years now in the collection. This one is from Las Vegas. And then we have, like, I want to say like the carousel or like the kiwi. I don't know the exact type of this aeonium. And I got that from probably last year when I did a big plant shopping haul. And then here I have the rabbit's ear Opuntia, and I believe Tanya, my plant friend, gave me this, and it's been giving me so many different pads that I was able to gift subscribers and plant friends along the way. Unfortunately, it's looking kind of sad, so I don't know what to do with him. I don't know if I should maybe trim off all these sections and maybe have him keep these 2. Comment down below, what do you think I should do? This mother plant was actually nice and full. It gives very beautiful small like purple blooms. I don't know, it's not very happy right now. I may end up putting this in the greenhouse, but for now it's here. This, I believe, is like a pickle. They call it the pickle cactus, if I'm not mistaken. And then my subscriber also gave me this as, I think, last year or the year before when we did a plant trade. She just gave me these to rescue. I given a few off to plant friends, and I ended up keeping these. And looks like it's trailing in bloom for me. This is the Moroccan euphorbia, if I'm not mistaken. And I had this for so many years now. It's grown. It was actually living in a little like teacup planter, but when I got the big haul from one of my subscribers a couple years ago, I transplanted it. If you guys remember Planting with Jewelyn, it's been living in there ever since. The Moroccan mound euphorbia. And then we have more succulents. We got sedums. I have my totem pole cactus here, and I have the other one in Las Vegas. Then here is just some epiphytic cactus. Now, I don't know the IDs of these. This was part of my, I feel like I rescued him. As you can see, it's kind of crazy, but there's a lot of new growth here. So I have high hopes that it will eventually bloom for me. But this was like 3 separate planters. I put it all together in one, and I just let it be. And it was living on the ground this whole time. So now it's pretty happy, I'm sure, living off of the ground and amongst other plant friends. So let's see if it blooms for me. But these two I bought separately. This one I had for a while, and I feel like this plant has given me so much drama, but it did give me 1 or 2 blooms. I think a pink bloom and a yellow bloom. So there's 2 different types of epiphytic cactus in here. So let's see what happens with this one, and I'll keep you posted. But fun to see lots of new growth, but I just literally just stuck it all in one planter and wish it luck. And then I have this cacti here. It looks like a 2-in-1 kind of situation. Tanya, my plant friend, gifted me that a couple years ago. So it's just been living in the collection. And then I have some echeverias. And I have more of the night blooming cactus from Tanya's mother plant here. So we'll see if it ever blooms for me, but that'll probably take a while. The blooms from these succulents were orange, and I have them dried, and I made several art pieces with them. So let's see if it blooms for me in the next season. And then I have my silver dollar vine. I swear this plant is, it's like 50-50. I love this plant, but at the same time I feel like it stresses me out. But it's one of those plants that I kind of just forget about and wish it's the best. This plant was very common when I was in Arizona a couple years ago. I was there for a couple of months filming for the channel. I don't really see it as common here in this part of California or Las Vegas. So comment down below if the silver dollar vine is common for you or not. But hopefully it's doing well, and we'll be able to protect the plants when I'm done with this plant tour for the rain coming in 3 days in a row. And then here's another epiphytic cactus. As you can see, tons of growth here. Probably put into the collection over a year or so ago. I just love to collect them because I'm hoping they give me blooms. So you'll see a lot of these epiphytic cactus growing in the collection. But yeah, tons of new growth, so that's very happy to see. Right, here we go, moving along. My crested, one of them, and one died unfortunately, which I had for a while. So hopefully the ones that did survive are gonna make it over the winter. And this is their time of the year where they open up and they just produce some amazing features on the plant. They just kind of open up and become a little bit more lively looking during this time of the year. But beautiful crested Aeonium sunburst variegata, and I just love the dimension of it. It's super cool. And then down here was one of my plants that I featured in Planting with Jewelyn Plant Awards. This is my very chunky watch chain, and you'll see in a second I do have another one, but not as chunky as this one. I believe I got this in Ventura. I want to say I got this in Ventura. I need to go back out there and do some plant shopping. We have the variegated Joseph coat. Believe that's what he is. Very, I want to say, I don't want to touch him because he has so many babies on him and he works so hard to produce that. So I try to not accidentally bump him. He's been with the collection for a while. He's kind of quirky looking. Ideally, I would love to put him in a terracotta. Maybe one of these days I'll be brave enough to take him out of this and put him in a terracotta. Maybe he'll be happier. Then here I have some stapelias. This was fairly new, added into the collection. It gave me several lifesaver blooms this year, so I'll be adding it into my art pieces. More aeoniums. This aeonium right here is a star. It gave me such beautiful blooms this year. I had this aeonium in the collection for a while, and then all of a sudden this year it decided to bloom for me, and I have all of the blooms dried. I've created a few pieces with it, so hopefully it'll bloom for me in the upcoming year. But I've had it for several years, and only this year it's decided to give me blooms, and it was so gorgeous. I'm so glad I'm able to do what I do now with the blooms. And it looks like this is a variegated crocodile aloe. And aloes are, you know, I wish I could plant them in the ground. They'd be a lot happier. Aloes and agaves, unfortunately, they have to live in terracotta planters in my home. Another euphorbia, and as you see, there's a lot of new growth here happening. I do have 1 or 2 parts of this in the Las Vegas collection doing really well. I don't know the correct ID of this. I think one time I purchased it, it was called like the rainbow or sunset euphorbia, because this does change colors when there's hairs growing on them. It's like a fiery pink, red, orange situation, yellow, but right now nothing's happening. Then I have a ripsalis here looking kind of sad. Hopefully it'll survive the winter. I'm trying to think, where did I get this ripsalis? Probably from maybe Northridge here in Southern California. And then down here I have another ripsalis, and I'll bring it up so you can see up close how cool and crazy it is. Love it a lot. I believe I got this one from Santa Barbara. And then I have some kind of euphorbia here, maybe the mammillaria. This one has been with the collection for a while. He's just very cool and interesting. He's probably one of my favorite cacti. It's very just small and weird looking. I had him probably for a couple of years from Las Vegas. Another epiphytic cactus. Hopefully it'll bloom for me one of these years. I'm trying to think where I got this one. Maybe on the way to San Diego at one of the nurseries when I was going out there a lot for my dance school. And then this is one of my favorite cacti in the collection. It was probably in Planting with Jewelyn Plant Awards in the past, and this is a pseudo zigzag euphorbia, if I'm not mistaken, variegata. It is so cool, pseudo zigzag, and I think I sold 1 or 2 babies from it when I first got the plant, but it's a rare cacti, so I don't want to take any more from it. But I did sell off 2 cuttings to subscribers years ago. And then here's another euphorbia, I think the trigona. I felt really bad. I rescued this thing from my neighborhood grocery store this year, so it's now living here in the collection. And then I have another cacti here. I don't know, maybe some kind of mammillaria. Comment down below. This has also been with me just as long as this guy here from Las Vegas. This was featured in Planting with Jewelyn Plant Awards. This is also a long time favorite of mine. It's been with the collection for several years. Got this Crested Eves needle from Las Vegas many years ago, and it's one of my favorites. He's super cool. More aeoniums. I believe this might have came from the Bay Area. If not, I purchased these 2 probably from like the Long Beach area, one of the nurseries that I go to every now and then. I love them. As you can see, they're thriving this time of the year. See, has grown so much over the years. I've had it for several years, and then I have some fire sticks here because I use every single space. Down here I have a pin cushion. You don't want to get this prick in your finger. This also blooms for me. It's growing kind of crazy, but this is from Las Vegas several years ago. Is hiding here. I don't want to get pricked on accident. All right, so that was everything in this section in the front of the home. Again, comment down below if you know any specific IDs of the plant babies that I just went through and in today's video. So I'm gonna stand behind the frame again so you can see the plants. And on the right side of my doorway, you see 2 Hoyas. I try to not have houseplants in the front of my home. I like to stick to cacti and succulents because they get the most light in this part of my space. So I have my Hoya carnosa tricolor, and I believe my like maybe silver splash down there, or my purple queen. But I have 2 Hoyas down there on the right. So hopefully my Hoya carnosa crimson princess on the top actually bloomed for me this year. Beautiful blooms. And then I have my splash on the bottom there, so we'll see if and when that thing ever blooms for me. But those are my 2 Hoyas in the front of the home. The rest is in the patio, I believe. In the front of my patio door, you see my Senecio Jacobsonii trailing above my Will Finn Sansevieria. And that Senecio was also part of Planting with Jewelyn Plant Awards for the year, along with my beautiful staghorn fern. And at the end of the video, you'll be able to see the plants up close. And then I have my cactus fern. I have more cactus fern that I got in a recent haul, so I'll probably maybe stick a few into this planter like I did in the past, and then the rest I'll take to Las Vegas to do a trial and error to see how it does there. And then I have my beautiful AMAC Euphorbia variegata. As you see, lots of new growth on the top part of the big mother plant. I did sell off 1 or 2 babies from it. And then on the bottom you see my crested Aeonium sunburst variegata, another one doing really good. So hopefully they'll be able to survive the weather over the next couple of days. And then on the bottom of the plant shelf, underneath my Bob Marley, I call him Bob Marley, my beautiful Euphorbia. He deserves an award every year. He's super cool. Gave me 1 or 2 blooms this year for the first time ever. I was able to save it. I have more Aeoniums down there, and then you see my other watch chain. And this Cressula is like the normal ones that you see, so it's not as chunky. And unfortunately, it's the worst plant to have out here because it just collects so much trash from the tree, the way how it grows. So I feel pretty bad for the guy, but it's super cool and interesting. So if you guys are looking for a very fun succulent to add to your collection, I highly recommend any Cressulas. And speaking of Cressulas, right next to it I have my Cressula Vada variegata, my jade tree, variegated, super cool. Love that one a lot. I do have another one also in my patio, which you will see in a future tour. The cacti on the plant stands, I don't know the IDs. The one on the right here I had for a while and it's never given me any blooms. And the one on the left here, it gave me 1 bloom, and that is a recent purchase that I got this year. It was several planters and I grouped it up in one, and I just wished it the best. It did look really crazy. And then on the far left you see another Cressula ovata, and that I think was also purchased in Las Vegas a couple of years ago. So in the middle section, there's tons of things happening here. A lot of them, I don't know the IDs. They're one of those rare cactus that maybe I got at plant shows. But I'll give you a more up close look, and then you can see what's going on these plant shelves. I know this is a variegated Indian corn cob. I have some mammillarias. I have another crested Eve needle. I think they call this a pine cone cactus. These two are the same. And I also have like an agave down here, which you'll see when we do the overview at the end of the video. I have a coral aloe on the bottom, and I have more mammillaria, like the fairy castle cactus, I believe is what it's called. So that's kind of everything in this section. And these plant shells were gifted to me by my subscriber a couple of years ago with a bunch of planters, so thank you. I'm still using it, but a lot of them came from plant shows. These 3 here came from plant shows, so they're very rare and unique plants. So a lot going on. I also have this guy here that I got from Las Vegas several years ago. So like to see the little babies. And last but not least, my beautiful jade tree. It is in bloom. It is its favorite time of the year, especially for me and my small business. I'm able to create so much art with the blooms. I also invested in a used ladder, so I'm able to get the blooms all the way on the top, because over the years I was not able to reach it. So happy about that little investment, but it's doing good. And as you can see, these succulents can grow into trees. Isn't that crazy? All right, that is gonna wrap up today's plant tour. Hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me and the Santa Monica collection, but stick around because over the next couple of weeks, with my schedule, when I have pockets of time, I'm going to be going through each section of the Santa Monica studio. We're going to be doing clean with me's, and then I'm able to film plant tours and share on the channel what the collection currently looks like. And hopefully I'm able to maintain the plants out here. Now that they're off of the ground, I think it's going to be a lot better for me, and the plants will be a lot happier. Comment down below, what do you think about the transformation? I did spend several hours this morning with Grandma out here, so give this video a big thumbs up for Grandma for helping me. And before I wrap up today's video, I want to do a little giveaway, and I will pick a winner 1 week from the time this video goes live. I like to do giveaways on my plant tours, and I want to give away one of my jade keychains. I have my jade blooms in my pieces, and I figure it'd be very fitting to make a keychain for one of you guys. I can either put it in a letter of your name, or I can just have it in a circle keychain if you don't want a letter, and I'll be able to have it shipped off anywhere around the world. Rules will always be the same for my giveaways. You have to be subscribed publicly to both the main channel and the vlog channel. You must be following all 3 of my Instagram accounts, my main account, my plant account, and my resin account, and leave a comment down below what is your favorite cacti in your collection, if you have any cacti, and if you don't, what was your favorite from today's tour. I would love to know in the comments down below, and also where you are from, city, state, country you live in. I will pick one winner from the time this video goes live, and I will make you a personal keychain, whether you want it in a letter or if you want it in a circle. And I can also make a color background for you, so I'll make a custom keychain for you, and you'll be able to have a part of the collection. I enjoy mine. As you can see, I have the letter E for Ebby on my keys, and it's just a very fun reminder of my plant life and the collection in Santa Monica no matter where I go. So it'd be very fun to make a custom keychain for one of you. And in the upcoming plant tours, I will also be doing different giveaways, little goodies from my small business and shop. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. Enjoy the montage at the end of the video. It's one of my favorite things to do, especially now that they're nice and clean and they have a little facelift from today. I'm very happy I was able to spend some time out here with the collection before the year ends, before I dance and get back into my crazy schedule. So thank you guys for supporting me throughout the years. And if you're new, welcome to the channel. Subscribe for daily uploads. Between the main channel and the vlog channel, you get a video each and every day. Give this video a big thumbs up and wish the collection luck, because it will be raining the next 3 days while I'm in Las Vegas. Aloha from Santa Monica, California. Happy planting and Happy New Year. Bye.